Well, hello, on a beautiful day in Caithness. The reason I've started this vlog here is, well, what you can see behind me. The biggest mountain in the distance, and I'll show you by flipping the camera around a minute, is Morven. We are just outside Berriedale, just over the border into Caithness. And the reason for this trip is to show you some of the places on the Caithness coast. And the reason I wanted to do that is twofold, really. First of all, I was inspired by a gentleman called Steve Marsh. He is a brilliant maker of travel videos throughout Scotland and indeed other places now. And you can find him easily on YouTube. Highly recommend you do. Secondly, I saw a video about the NC500 by an American gentleman that said if you're starting from Inverness and going up the east coast, make your first stop John O'Groats. Now that is scandalous. There are some beautiful, beautiful places on the east coast, and I'm aiming to show you just a few of them in the next 30 minutes or so. See you at the next stop. Bye bye. And here we are in Dunbeath Bay. I think this is possibly the most beautiful bay on the east coast, but then I may be biased. I live here. Let's just have a little look around. I think you'll be tempted to agree. Anyway, let's just take a stroll up to the harbour, which is even better. This is Dunbeath Harbour, which is not only a very, very pretty place, but as you can probably see, extremely well maintained. Now, Dunbeath is famous for, it must be famous for something. Oh, yes. Apart from the Queen's cousin being killed in an air crash here just after World War II, which we won't go into, but you can go into the various conspiracy theories about that on the good old internet. But more than that, it's famous for the local author Neil Gunn. Neil Gunn wrote a famous piece called The Silver Darlings, which is about salmon. As you know, salmon is a very large fish that can break your wrist with a flick of its tail. In consideration of that, Silver Darlings is a romantic name, really. But hey, don't let romance get in the way of truth. Let's take a wee stroll around and see what facilities there are here. If you're in a camper van doing the NC500, Dunbeath's a pretty good place to lay over for the night. Apart from an extremely clean and well-maintained toilet block behind me, it's also got a very nice takeaway seafood shack called Tasty Toes, where the lady there will give you the best dressed crab or lobster rolls in the north of Scotland. Take that from me.
Yes.
And there behind me is Tasty Toes. I have to admit now, I actually don't like seafood. Fortunately, I can get a ham roll and a cup of tea there. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I wasn't lying. Ham roll and a cup of tea. Resume filming after a short break. Thank you. Lee, what's the best seafood place in the north of Scotland? Thank you. Now that's a beautiful little cottage. Some lucky person lives there who wouldn't want to. Now, directly behind me is Dunbeath Water, usually referred to locally as the Strath. Very attractive place. And if you're young and fit, or even old and fit, there's a beautiful footpath beside it. You can walk up into the hills for a few miles, and there's some rather nice historical sites. However, if you're a 70-year-old man with dodgy knees, you won't be going. See you at the next stop. Now we enter the small village of Lather and Wheel. Tiny little place, but it has a spectacular harbour that's well worth spending some time to go and have a look. See you there. This is Lather and Wheel Harbour. There's no facilities here whatsoever, although there's plenty of space for parking overnight if you want. But honestly, with a view like that, who needs anything else? You could just sit here and chill out for hours. Some people are doing. Some brave people are already in the sea. Yeah, I think I'll go and join them. Yeah, maybe not. So, we've arrived at Leicester Harbour. Unlike the last couple of places we've been to, this is actually a working harbour. There's 3 or 4 boats here catching crabs and lobster. Also, Leicester Village is a little bit bigger. They've got 3 or 4 pubs, a couple of cafes, spa shop. So this is where to get your supplies if you're up this area. But as you can see, it's still a bonny place. And the lighthouse there has just been repainted. And so we've arrived in Wick, which will probably be the final destination for what is hopefully part 1 of a series, depending on whether anybody actually watches or not. Before I head into the main town, I've stopped at a little place outside of town called the Trinky. The Trinky is a swimming pool cut out of the rocks and fed by the North Sea. I'm reliably informed that many locals go and swim there on a sunny weekend. Now, it's fed by the North Sea, but be assured, if you come here, you can jump straight in because it's like stepping into a warm bath. So enjoy it on my recommendation. And here we are at Wick Harbour, or more correctly, Wick Marina. Many years ago, when I was a kid and used to come up here on my holidays, Wick had the biggest herring fleet in Europe. Unfortunately, now those days are gone. We all know what's happened to the fishing industry. And it's now mainly stocked up with pleasure craft, which you can hopefully see in the background there. Nevertheless, it's a nice place to spend an afternoon. At the end of the pier there is a beautiful old boat called the Isabella Fortuna. Don't ask me what type of boat it is. Maybe some of the more educated amongst you will leave a comment. But it's very, very nice. And across the road, the locally famous Wicker's World. Trust me, the best bacon roll in town. Well, I've decided to end today's little trip in a pretty little bay called Staxigoe. And why wouldn't you? Hopefully you've enjoyed parts of today's look around. You may not have learned anything. I'm not a geographer. I'm not a historian. I am certainly not an influencer. I don't earn a penny from YouTube. The sole intention is to show you around a part of the world that I particularly love. No other reason than that. Hopefully in the next part we'll have a bit more of a tour around Wick, because I just skirted on the outskirts really, and then move on to John O'Groats and across the north coast. My name is Bruffie. Please like and subscribe. Although I don't earn any money, it's nice to be appreciated. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.